Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome to Temple Akiba of Culver City. We are so glad that you're with us tonight to pray, to be, to journey, and to reflect. My name is Rabbi Zach Shapiro, here along with incredible leaders, Lonnie Freilich, our cantorial intern, Liz Baseman, our choir director, Mary Lou Basaraba, and of course, we're here with Natalie Cayetano and her family. Natalie will be ascending this Shabbat as a bat mitzvah. We are really so honored to be here. We have many people who are here in person. We extend a welcome to those who are here via Zoom as well as YouTube. And we will do everything we can on our end to embrace you so that we can feel the inclusion of one huge family. We're going to ask if you have your cell phones with you to please make sure they're on the silent mode. That will help us out. And we look forward to praying together. Cantor, we're going to open with music.
Yes. I had to turn my cell phone off, actually, so thank you for reminding me. We are going to begin with the singing of Hava Nashira. Let us sing a song of praise. Hallelujah. We invite all of you to join with us, and there's some hand clapping and just a lot of fun music. Hava, Hava Nashira, cheer hallelujah, cheer hallelujah. 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 Sounded beautifully.
What an honor it is now to invite Natalie, along with her brother Aaron, her parents, Bernie and Robin, forward for the lighting of our Shabbat candles. In our prayer books, everyone, we're on page 2.
Okay, I'll do it.
Asher Kishanu Mitzvotav Etzivanu Lehad Likner Shabbat.
Friends, we're going to ask for all who are able to please rise, and we continue with the Kiddush for Shabbat. It's on page 5 of our prayer books.
Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen. Baruch Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kishanu mitzvotav ve'ratzavanu, v'shabbat kosho ve'ahavat Ikilanu, Zikaro Lemase, Reishit, Yom Tehillah, Lemikra Kodesh, Zecher Yitziat Mitzrayim, Ibanu Ba'artam, Tanil Kidashta, Nigolani, Yeshalam Kodecha, Yamahu Ratzah, Ikatanu, Baruch atah Adonai, Melech Kadesh, Bashat. Amen.
Everyone say Mazel Tov. Please be seated, everyone except for Natalie. Who said Yasher Koach, by the way? Is that Tony? Everyone repeat after me. Yasher. Hold on, repeat after me. Yasher Koach. That in Hebrew translation means may your strength be forward. But what it really means is good going. And when someone does such an incredible job, like doing the Kiddush so beautifully, we say Yasher Koach, and that means keep going. So, Natalie, actually, you know what? Sit down for a second. We're going to bring you back up in a minute, but first I'd like to invite forward, representing our congregation, our board member who is in charge of membership, Craig Newman. Craig was here welcoming so many people for our open house, and Craig is just a welcoming soul. Craig, Shabbat Shalom. Hold on a second, over here. All right. That's all enough?
That's good. Wow, you overestimated me. Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
And an almost Shana Tova. Now, I don't mean may your year almost be sweet and bright. I mean, we're almost there. And I just want to give a big amount of love to our rabbi and to our cantor and to everyone who is preparing for high holidays right now. And doing it in such a wonderful way, knowing the challenges. And I'll tell you what, Temple Akiba has faced challenges just like temples all over, just like everyone all over. And the way that we've come together as a family has just been amazing. And if you are here for the very first time, or for the 1,000th time, may you feel that energy that exudes from Temple Akiba. And if you are here for the first time, can you just give us a little wave? And for the rest of us, let's say welcome. And if you are here for Natalie's bar mitzvah, you are lucky because tomorrow she is going to come in front of all of you and blow some minds. I can feel it. The oldest tradition, right? You're going to come up here and just knock their socks off. And we're so proud of you. And thanks to your family. Thanks to your family, first of all, lighting the candles, saying the blessing over the wine, sponsoring our own egg, being here and supporting, and we are here to support you. So Mazel Tov from all of us to all of you. So high holidays are upon us, and we do have a volunteer opportunity. we are looking for volunteers to hand out high holiday prayer books. And if you are interested and you want to learn more, the specifics of what exactly we're looking to do, if you wouldn't mind contacting our main office and they can tell you the details. But anyone who has the time to hand out high holidays, prayer books, that would be super helpful. Also want to remind everyone that the Slichot service will be tomorrow at 5, and that is online. And that's both Zoom and YouTube. Okay, wonderful. So if you want to interact, you can be on our Zoom, or if you just want to watch and sing along, you can be on YouTube. Finally, look, I'm the director of membership, so I'd be remiss if I didn't say, hey folks, if you have not yet renewed your membership, this is the perfect time to do it. And there are so many wonderful programs that we're working on with the temple. In fact, we just were doing some brainstorming for the Purim Carnival, and I'm super excited about that. So, you know, it's just so helpful to our temple for you to renew as soon as you can. So we ask that you do that, and we thank you in advance. And finally, we're doing the oneg a little bit differently. So on your way out, our sisterhood has prepared what we're calling the oneg to go. You'll be given a bag with a challah. So please make sure if you see a sisterhood member, you thank them. And of course, Natalie's family for sponsoring. Anything else, anyone? I'm giving you all a real big hug right now, whether you're watching us from home or in the audience. I miss hugs so
Me
much.
too.
And Shabbat Shalom, Natalie Mazel Tov.
Thank you so much, Craig. Hey, Craig, one thing that you should be aware of, and tomorrow, Natalie and her brother Aaron will be singing for Michael a song that they wrote, that Natalie will be playing on guitar, and it's one that I can't get out of my head. So you're going to learn it at some point also, so you can back her up.
Amazing. I love it.
Among Craig's many talents is he was our song leader here for about 18 years. And he hung up that Akiba and now is wearing a different one. So now it's my honor to welcome via Zoom, representing our sisterhood, Nancy Trachtenberg. And Natalie, if you'll come up to this microphone, one of the handicaps I have right now is to get Nancy's voice projected. So I'm going to do it this way. All right, Nancy, go ahead. Nancy, go ahead.
Thank you. Shabbat Shalom. It is my honor tonight to represent Temple Akiba Sisterhood and present you, Natalie, with the Kiddush Cup. You have demonstrated that you have earned your place as an adult in our faith by conducting part of tonight's service already. We also recognize the commitment made by your parents and family in assisting you to achieve this goal. We recognize that you have worked very hard to get to this point in your young life. We are so proud to be able to recognize this milestone accomplishment and celebration. We hope you will use this Kiddush Cup with love and pride tomorrow and at many more celebrations to come. Mazel tov.
Thank you so much, Nancy. That was so beautiful. So great to have you with us joining. Now, representing our men's group, Herman Barnathan is here. Herman, Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Rabbi.
Hold on 1 second. Here. Hold on.
Yeah, I'm a little shorter. Natalie, the men's group of Temple Akiba of Culver City presents Tanakh to every bar and bat mitzvah recipient. You're no exception. We have one for you tonight also. This is the Hebrew Bible, complete Tanakh. It starts at Bereshit and it goes all the way through the entire Bible. You have songs, you have writings, anything you can possibly want to know about Judaism is in this book. It's also your Bible for life. You have places in the beginning of the Bible for inscriptions, both happy, and I hope there are very, very many. I hope you run out of pages. And unfortunately, there's also sad ones too. We want you to cherish this book, read it, ask the rabbi questions about it. He'll be happy to answer them for you. And if he can't, the cantor will. But this is yours for life. Take good care of it. It'll take good care of you. So on behalf of the men's group, here is your Tanakh. And if I may, for just a moment, get commercial, the men's group of Temple Akiba accepts both male and female people. We are constantly looking for new members. If you have any questions, please call me at the end of the service. I'll be here. Mazel tov to you, sweetheart. I get a hug, don't I? Thank you. Shabbat shalom to everybody, and mazel tov to the family.
Thank you. Family, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Herman. We really appreciate it. Friends, we're going to continue with the singing of Lechadodi. It's in our prayer books on page 20. This is a joyful, joyous song of celebration that Shabbat is coming and entering our souls. There's a tradition at the very end to rise and to face the entry that we came in as we welcome the Sabbath bride as she dances with us on this day.
Shalom, Ateret Bala, Gam Besimcha, Uvetzola, Tochem Lunei, Am Sedula, Boichala, Lecha Dodi, Mikra.
Let's remain standing, everyone, and we're going to turn in our prayer books to page 26. Natalie, if you'll come back forward to lead us in the Chatzi Kaddish.
Shemei Rabba, Ve'amadi Brakute, Ve'amid Makute, Ve'chayer Anu Yomecha, U'tayeh Techol Beit Yisrael, U'bizman Kariv, Amen. Yeheshmei Rabba Nevora, Ve'alam Ulam Me'amaya, Yitzhara Ve'ishtava, Bihar, Bihar, Bihnasen, Bihtada, Bihale, Bihtalal, Shnei Dekudesha, Rifu, Be'ela, Minko, Birchata, Beshirata, Shufrata, Renevemata, Yami, Ramyama, Ilaru, Amen.
Continue now with our formal call to worship the Baruch Hu. We are on page 28 of our prayer book.
Ya la 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 la.
The most important prayer in Judaism is not the prayer of talking. It's not the prayer of seeing. It's the prayer of hearing. And it's a reminder every day that we have an opportunity and a responsibility to listen, to really listen. And so we engage in this prayer together. Prayer of listening to our heartbeats, listening to one another, listening to God. It's in our prayer books on pages 34 and 35, the Shema Israel.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu,
Natalie will continue with the words of Yahavta on page 36 of our prayer books.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים אלוהיהם. אני אדוני אלוהיהם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיהם.
Natalie, even though I can't see their faces, I can see in their eyes, everyone in your family is excelling. It's just beautiful. You can have a seat for a few minutes. I was in a study session earlier this week with some colleagues of mine, and we were discussing the essence of our next prayer in the service, the Mitra Mocha. The setting is that the children of Israel are at the Sea of Reeds, and they're crossing through it. And they're talking about how marvelous God is. And then the text teaches that the sea closed in on the Egyptian army. But the question comes up, was Pharaoh there? And most of our rabbinic commentators reply that Pharaoh did not die. Pharaoh lived on. And so the question that came up is, why is it important in the history of our people that when we survived the Sea of Reeds and when the Egyptians were annihilated, the king of Egypt still lived? In other words, what message does it send that Pharaoh himself didn't die with everyone else? And we talked about it as colleagues. It was an interesting question. But then we realized that if Pharaoh had died, what that would have meant as a symbol is that those who want to kill us have all died. But we know that in every generation of Judaism, there have been new pharaohs that have arisen that have wanted to annihilate us. And so just the symbol of Pharaoh having survived is a reminder that even when things are great for us, that we still have to be aware of those who are out there who dislike us because, well, fill in the blank, dislike us because we're Jews, or who dislike us because we're gay, or who dislike us because we're female, or who dislike us because we're not white. Fill in the blanks. And it's not about living in fear. It's about having an awareness that we need to be strong in the face of enemies that do arise every once in a while. That's why we continue to sing this song, this Mitra Mocha, to remind ourselves that there's always a journey forward, and that we've got to keep on being strong. What page are we on?
We are on page 40.
Page 40. Everyone.
מי כמוך האלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, נורא תהילה, עושה פלא, נורא תהילה, עושה פלא. Moshe
continue now. We're going to turn back in our books. I always feel sheepish saying we're going to move back because every once in a while there are people that look and say, well, how many pages are left in the service? We're going to come back to page 24 for a very important song, Shalom Aleichem, the song of welcoming of the Shabbat angels into our souls.
Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Alachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mo'echem leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Melech Malachei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Arfuni leShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom Aleichem, Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh, HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
Natalie, we're going to invite you back forward to lead us in the next section of our prayers, the Amidah. You can open our prayer books to page 42. No, not 42, to page
46.
Thank you, 46. We invite the congregation once again to please rise.
Adonai sefatitah upiah tefilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. You are Adonai, Eloheinu, Eloheinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohe Ripah, Elohe Rachel, Elohe Leah. El Hagadol, Hagibor Mehanoah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vedonei Yaakov, Lezocher Chasdei Elohim Avot, U'Elilah Mipnei Mehem, Leman Shemo B'Yahweh, Melech Ozer U'Moshiach U'Mani. Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Avraham Ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, Nechayei Hakol Atah, Rav Le'Moshiach. Nechokel Chaim B'Chesed, Nechayei Hakol B'Rachamim Rabim. Somech Noflim Ve'Rofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, B'Shemei Afar, Nichamocha Bal Nimrod, U'Midom Elah, Melech Memit U'Mechayeh, U'Masmiach Yeshua, L'Neman Atah L'Chayot HaKol, Baruch atah Adonai, Nechayei HaKol. Atah Kadosh V'Shemcha Kadosh, U'Kadoshim B'Choyam, Baruch Selah. Baruch atah Adonai, Ha'el HaKadosh.
Please be seated, everyone. I'm looking at the melting candles, and the way that the wax is dripping reminds me of tears and teardrops coming down from one's eyes. And it reminds me of a midrash when I see these tears, a midrash called The Gift. The midrash is about the very end of the Garden of Eden story. You may recall that Adam and Eve had been banished from the garden. Why were they banished? Well, our text teaches that they disobeyed God's instruction, but not only that, they tried to shirk their responsibility. When God said, "What did you do?" they both kind of shrugged their shoulders. And because they didn't accept responsibility, God said, "You can no longer live in this paradise, but you need to go to the other side of the walls of the garden." And this, of course, made Adam and Eve very sad. And they both began welling up with tears and crying uncontrollably. And they'd never felt this emotion before. I mean, they were the first human beings. The world had not been around that long. And they asked God, "What is this tear all about? What's this crying?" And God said, "It is my gift to you." And Adam and Eve said, "What do you mean, your gift?" And God said, "When you cry, you'll realize that a burden is lifted off of your souls. And even if you are in terrible grief, the act of allowing tears to flow will lift your spirits just a little bit. And every teardrop that falls will allow you to breathe more deeply." And as their tears began to fall, those teardrops watered the ground. And in that space that the teardrops watered, new life eventually began to grow. And so I think of this gift, the gift of crying, the gift of teardrops, and the many different emotions that make us cry. I saw this teardrop twice today, the teardrop, the gift from the Garden of Eden. I saw it at the beginning of the day when I brought my children for the first time to preschool. They weren't crying, I was crying. It was not the first full day, it was parent visitation day. But seeing them walk into the classroom, my whole heart began to swell. And for those who have raised children, I now get it a little bit more from the emotions that you experience. Because I know that the bar and bat mitzvah is not far away. And that the confirmation is not far after that. So that was the first time I saw this gift. It was the gift that I felt. But the second time left a different kind of impression on me. You see, I served on 2 Bate Din today. Now, Bate Din is the plural of Beit Din, and that is a group of colleagues, at least 2 other colleagues I gather with to officiate at a conversion. One of them was along with Cantor Lonnie and cantorial intern Liz, and that was for people who have been joining us via YouTube and who were part of my Intro to Judaism program this year. That was one Beit Din. There was a second Beit Din for which I was one of the rabbis asked to be on it for someone who was converting, who was not part of my program, but I was there with my colleague, Rabbi Denise Ager, the senior rabbi of Polami in West Hollywood. And this was for a man who grew up in a family of crypto Jews. Crypto Jews are a small sect of people, usually in New Mexico, who grew up Catholic, but who have ancestry from the Spanish Inquisition. And it's usually a family secret that there is someone in their family who's Jewish. And in this particular case, the gentleman shared a story of when they went to the cemetery when he was 14, to clean off the gravestones. And the gravestones in their family cemetery all had names like Solomon or Rachel or Abraham, names that were not common among the Catholics, but were common among the cryptos, the people who were in secrecy Jewish. And he told me about the Jewish stars that were hidden underneath the Christian symbols in the cemetery. So this was a man who was converting to Judaism, but really returning to his roots. Now here's where the gift, here's where the tear came in. When he was in the waters of the mikveh, his husband, who was a South African Jew, was standing next to me as we were witnessing. And his husband began to tremble. And he was crying and crying as this gentleman went into the waters of the mikveh. And I said to him, what are the tears about? And he was relaying how his family was a Holocaust family, and it was those tears. He was relaying about how his childhood home in Johannesburg was no longer a Jewish area that had been taken over by people who weren't Jewish, and he was sad by that. He said that he was crying out of the joy that there was a new Jewish person in the world, and that we need new Jews in the world. And he was crying because his husband was able to say the Shema Yisrael, that prayer that we sang earlier in the service, with that beautiful conviction. Yes, tears are a gift. We can cry for many different emotions. Friends, we're about to enter our season of renewal. In fact, we're already in it. It's our time to look at the candle droppings, at the wax. Remember the story of the Garden of Eden, and to think about our own personal losses and our own grand achievements, and to think deeply, how will the tears of my soul renew me this year in an extraordinary and meaningful way? We're going to take a moment for our own silent reflection. please allow your souls to connect to your heart. We pray silently.
May the words of my heart and the meditations of my soul be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. In you let our song be made let your name be the final. Adonai to read, Adonai to read, Adonai to read. There go Ali, there go Ali, there go Ali. There are so that you the banner. Adonai to read, Adonai to read, Adonai to read. There go Ali, there go Ali, there go Ali.
We turn now in our prayer books to page 253, page 253, right in the middle of the page is our prayer for healing. This prayer goes out to the world, and I'm thinking specifically of those who are in Afghanistan in such a horrible circumstance. I'm thinking of the women of Afghanistan who are stuck in ways that I can't even begin to imagine. I'm thinking of our world who is suffering under this pandemic, who need healing. And we think of those in this sacred space who could use an extra prayer today. So as we offer this Misha Berach prayer, if there are people that you are specifically thinking of who could use an extra embrace, when we get to the center, as my eyes meet yours, please don't be shy. Say those names out loud so we can hear them, so that we can know for who you are praying.
May the source of strength
Friends, we come now to our concluding prayers, and we open our books to page 282. We start about halfway down the page. We invite all who are able once again to please rise. Please be seated, everyone. On page 288, as we prepare for the mourner's Kaddish, I offer this reading. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something, something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved. And if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away. We remember now friends and family of our community who have died, who continue to offer light from their eternal resting spaces. I begin with those for whom we are in Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning. If you're joining us via Zoom, we invite you to place names in our chat box of those for whom you are in mourning. We remember Trudy Wittenberg, Henry Swang, and Constant Patty. Are there additional names of people for whom you are in Shloshim, the first 30 days of mourning in our community? We add to their names the yard sites, the anniversaries of the deaths that occur on this Shabbat. We begin with those who have plaques in our Sue and Jerry Erfurt Memorial Room. Charles Adler, Morris Beyer, Dora Horowitz, William Samuels, Norma Spiro. We also remember Penelope Barrow, Trisha Brennan, Judith Cohen, Samuel Edberg, Sam Forsythe, Naomi Gold, Richard Goldstein, Bertha Hurst, Harry Jess, Tony Clark, Lillian Court, Joseph Mencius, Sidney Marvish, Gordy Paula, Myrna Robledo, Albert Rosenberg, Jack Shred, Luba Sarfati, David Smith, Arlene Steinfeld, Kenneth Stone, Ruben Vodovos, Philda Weiss. Are there additional yard sites that those in the community here are observing?
That's the. Jesus Akiba.
May all their memories guide us toward goodness. We ask all who are able to rise once again for our mourners Kaddish. We're on page 294. Yitzgadal, Yitzgadash, Shemerabah. Yomad Divra Kurute Biamdith Malfute. The Chayeton of Yometon, the Chaye the whole Beit Yisrael. Bagalau Bisman Karib Imru Amen. Yehi Shme Rabba Nevarach Leolam Orme Omaya. Yipara, Yishabat, Yitpa'ar, Yitroma, Yitnase. Yitadar, Yitalev, Yitalav. Shemei Kursha, Bariku. Le'ilam min kol birchata b'shirata. Tushachata b'nechamata. Damiran b'yama, Hebrew Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Yishamaya. B'chayim, Aleinu b'al kol Yisrael. Hebrew Amen. Useh Shalom b'Roma. Uyaseh Shalom. Aleinu b'al kol Yisrael. Hebrew Amen. May the one who causes peace in the high heavens help us understand that by reaching out to one another, we create peace on earth as well. For all Israel and for all humanity, we say, Amen. Amen. Take a deep breath. Natalie, you have given us an extraordinary way to enter Shabbat, and we can't wait to celebrate with your family tomorrow. And this is open to everyone, whether you're here or watching us on YouTube or Zoom. It's going to be such a great day, and we can't wait for the celebration to continue. Thank you for starting it so beautifully. We are going to close. Kendra, what are we closing with tonight?
We are closing with Oseh Shalom, which is the last few lines of the prayer that we just read. And there's some hand movements in here too, so we hope you follow along and join with us. Oseh Shalom, Biroma. Oseh Shalom, Biroma. Yaseh, Yaseh, Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh, Yaseh, Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh, Yaseh, Yaseh Shalom. Alleluia. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. Oseh Shalom, Biroma. Oseh Shalom, Biroma. Yaseh, Yaseh, Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh, Yaseh, Yaseh Shalom. Yaseh, Yaseh, Yaseh Shalom. Alleluia. 1, 2, 3, 4. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down. May the one who makes peace bring peace down, bring peace down.
So we're going to invite the Caetanos and the adopted Caetano son, Jonah, to come forward to help us break bread with the Motzi tonight.
Motzi lechem min haaretz. We give thanks to God for bread. Our voices join in happy chorus as our prayer is humbly said. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz, b'te'ah.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.